back at it again here with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. To all the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all the subscribers, welcome back. All I ask for in return is for you to smash that like button to let me know you watch this video. Helps out the YouTube channel and lets me know you appreciate the time and effort I put into making these videos. So here we are with Clov stock, Clover Health Investments, and we're going to jump into this chart and break it down at the current levels because this has overextended tremendously. There's been a lot of strength here. And we're going to look at this because this right here is squeezing, right? It's not only just a short squeeze, but also momentum from retail and institutional investors piling on in, buying into the stock, making it go higher. But before we break down all the data and all the information, I want to share with you guys the stocks I mentioned this morning over at the Discord. And that's something you can become part of as well. Managed to find 2 home run opportunities. And then we're going to jump right into it here with Clov stock, Clover Health Investments. So after all the turbulence in the market and actually most stocks being in the red and the S&P 500 index currently in the red and pulling downwards in the morning and the pre-market not looking so filled up with volume, if not kind of stagnant, there still was 2 home run opportunities that were able to be found, and it did not go up in a straight line. It took dedication to the charts and effort to catch the dip to the best of one's knowledge and ride the rips. So if this is something that interests you, I would like to invite you to join us. The link is down below in the description to the Discord, and by joining, you'll become part of a growing community of investors, all looking to learn and grow together. So this morning, I was watching ADAP, RNXT, AEHR, and the other one was right here, which was right after the bell, and that was OPAD. We're going to look at these charts together. The worst performer was RNXT. That one had a small jump of about 5%, and then it just started pulling downwards and having small jumps of 3 to 5%. So the worst performer out of this list here, though, is AEHR. Okay, this one was caught right as it was pulling downwards towards the bell, hit a bottom there, and skyrocketed for a 10% move in a matter of minutes. That was about 15 minutes to 20 minutes after the bell. Then it pulled down and took off for a highest point of 15% plus. And this is what it's all about. 5 to 10% on a regular day, 10 to 20% on a great day, and 20% plus is a home run. So this is one that I caught as a halted. It was very risky, pulling downwards when I mentioned it, and it skyrocketed for another jump of 5 to 10%. Then it pulled down for a couple of hours, and after bottoming out in the middle of the day, it reversed and gave a highest point of 20% plus. And you could see it here with 42 Vision, how much strength it had in the pre-market towards the halting, the pulling back, jumping up a little bit, and the rest was just weakness. And this seemed to have been the bottom within this area, and it reversed for a highest point of 20% plus. Now the other one was ADAP. Now this one right here caught this one as it was running right in the pre-market. It was overextending. I stated I was not going to chase it or FOMO, going to watch it carefully, pulled downwards. And this seemed to have been the bottom right there because it touched a little bit below that, right? 560, 559, and then it reversed. And that was right there around 565, 563. That was just a few cents off that first bottom. It had small jumps of 3 to 5%, almost reaching 10% within those first couple of minutes, an hour of the day. But after that point right there of that 560, 559 range, it reversed and gave a highest point throughout the day of 20% plus. It's all about catching the dip and riding the rips. And you can see how it went and shifted into strength throughout the day and how it was going into weakness here, tried to come back up, continued weakness, and then the reversal. So if you want to be able to see completely what's going on with these opportunities, you can join the 42 Vision tier level, which gives you access to the Discord, Patreon, which is the daily watch list, weekly watch list, and the 42 Vision indicator, as you can see it here, showing you in the candles based off specific levels where the momentum is heading. Let's go ahead and jump into these charts. So here we are with Clov stock, Clover Health Investments. We've been watching this one as a community here on the channel very closely. I've been talking about other short squeeze opportunities, but we watch Clover Health Investments nearly every single day of the way, all the way up to this point, very closely almost every day. Now, I've had a few investors talk and say, well, you've only caught Clover Health 1 or 2 times in the year. And that is true. I caught Clover Health way back here in March and April before it ran up to $11 and it gave about 20 to 30%. And then I talked about it again in May 17th over at the Patreon, right before it ran up 400%, right? Like 4x from its current levels. So that's all it really takes, 1 or 2 times to catch the stock. You're not supposed to catch the stock every time because most of the time it's a waste of time. And I talk about it a lot here in the channel, how these were all bull traps. I didn't like them, but it does present the opportunity to buy the dips when every other investor is fearful, because it's setting you up for the next possible run. Now on YouTube, when it actually pulled back from this one right here, and those of you that remember this barcoding here at 30-minute time frame, I didn't like it. It's not normal for that to happen at 30 minutes. You can see it on a 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute, and especially if it's a penny stock, like a couple cents or $1 or $2. This was happening at $9. I knew there was going to be weakness that was not looking strong enough, and then it started to fall, collapse, and if it got closer to 750 and it couldn't hold up above it, it could go lower. It certainly did that, and it reversed. And since that point forward, if you've been watching and listening to everything that I talk about in the opportunities of this stock, around this area here, back in August, I had stated on the Patreon, this was part of the weekly watch list, and that same week I made a video talking about how this is an opportunity you might not want to miss, because based off analysis ratings, even if it doesn't short squeeze, it has potential to the upside, okay? And catching it at these levels was an opportunity, and if it went lower, as an investor, me personally, this is just my opinion, not financial advice and not the way you have to handle things. If I feel like it's worth buying the dip, I would buy the dip and then ride the rip, right? So when's the last time I talked about it? And this is going on to the 4th time I mentioned Clover Health before it rips, a few weeks after, or a few, days after it happens. I stated it in August 15th. It was at 822. And we're going to look at how it reacted that same week going into August 17th, 18th, and so forth. So if you guys want to know about these stocks way before I mention them on YouTube or state anything about them and many other stocks, you can join the Patreon. You'll gain access to the weekly watch list and the daily watch list. So this is what happened after August 15th. The 16th, it went down to 794, went up to 860s. It gave a nice jump of about, a 5 to 10% jump, pulled down, and that same week, it hit the all-time low that we recently saw. Now, let me go ahead and correct this, because if that investor's watching, he's going to state that's not the all-time low. As I stated in the last video, and as I've stated in every video, that was the all-time low since the peak of $28, not the all-time low of the year, the all-time low since this bearish trajectory. And that hit that all-time low there. And with 42 vision, you could see here there's a shift in the candlesticks into extremely oversold and weakness, and then it reversed, and you could see when it started going into strength and never went back into that extreme oversold or weakness. It just kind of bounced around, and you can see here how much strength it has. So that's another thing you can gain access to by joining the 42 vision tier level. You'll gain access to the 42 vision indicator, which lets you see the dips to the best of one's knowledge and the rips, right? That's the goal. So that's when I started talking about it. That was the best week to start watching Clove, starting a position, buying the dip in my opinion, and then riding it up, and through this consolidation, holding strong if it looked like it still had strength, and it certainly did. The lowest it went was 828, didn't even get nowhere near 740s. That's about a 10% aboveness of that low, holding up, holding strong, and all of a sudden taking off, ripping back down, and now bursting into the upside potential. And the question is, could it continue? So based off analysis ratings, this is overextended. $10 to $12 is the average price target. So I will be watching this very carefully at these levels. And it did break through a very important area here, but it got rejected. It's a little bit below it. That's 1089. It's currently at 1080. So 1089, it needs to break through and then get up here to the 11s, 1112, hold itself up, and continue to the upside up to 1418. So let's go ahead and look here at the short interest. So based off of this recording and this information as of today, it is showing a short interest of 15%. I've stated before that is a lot less than the typical high short interest, but it's still pretty high for this stock, even though it might actually have some influence on squeezing. This has a lot to do with retail driven upside potential and some shorts slightly covering. So now the bulls need to hold themselves up, not let it fall down, to actually allow this to continue to push higher and force that 15%. If shorts haven't covered, if some of them have covered, it could be between 10 to 15% now. But that same amount of shorts that's out there, force them to cover and push this up even higher. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.